Hi, I'm Laurent Desbois. In this short video, and in the one that follows, we'll examine the infamous household debt and its consequences. Let's not forget that the crisis since 2008 has not been caused by excessive public debt, except for Greece and perhaps Italy. The crisis that began in the US is a result of too much household debt, used to buy overvalued assets, especially houses, and facilitated by banks all too willing to take on more risk. I've reproduced here a graphic published by the Bank of Canada which shows in percentage the evolution since 1980 until 2011 of the ratio of household debt relative to disposable income. Canada, the US and the UK have seen similar patterns. Household debt is lower in Europe, however, although there are large disparities between countries inside the euro. In fact, the major problems of the Eurozone countries come from bad loans in other sectors. I'll talk about that in another clip. I'd like to make 3 remarks about our household debt. First, this ratio has seen a strong upward trend since 1980. In 1980, this ratio was 80%. In 2010, it was approximately 150 to 160%. We are therefore twice as indebted today relative to our income compared to 1980. This increase in debt is unprecedented, unique in economic history, and we can't emphasize enough the historical importance of this event. This upward trend is obviously unsustainable in the long run. We can't keep piling on more and more debt in order to sustain economic growth. Something has to give. My second point is that the factors that have generated this rising debt are threefold. A, we've experienced falling interest rates since 1980, almost without interruption, that encouraged credit expansion. B, we've witnessed a long period of political and economic stability, which generated complacency and excessive risk-taking. When house prices rise for 50 years nationally, it is hard to imagine that the uptrend can reverse itself. And C, financial innovation has also facilitated credit expansion, especially in the real estate sector. Finally, the third and last point I'd like to make concerning our debt levels is that they are still very high, not only in Canada, but also in the US and in the UK. Even in some European countries, in Ireland, Denmark, and the Netherlands, for example, household debt lies between 200 and 300%. This debt ratio makes us very vulnerable to economic shocks and decreases consumer spending and our ability to generate economic growth for the time being. While increasing household debt was a strong tailwind to growth in the past, especially right before 2008, today our high debt levels are a strong headwind to economic growth. We've borrowed increasingly during this period, but in doing so, we've also borrowed from our economic future. So what's going to happen next? I'll examine 3 scenarios in our next video.